back to the Phantom's Fanatic YouTube channel. I am back with another review, and this week's second review is of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, released this year in 2022, starring Chadwick Boseman, Tichnote Huerta, Letitia Wright, Dominic Thorne, Angela Bassett, Lupita Nyong'o, and Winston Duke, and it was directed by Ryan Coogler. Obviously, this is the follow-up film to Black Panther Wakanda. No, just Black Panther, not Black Panther Wakanda Forever. The film follows Black Panther's family and friends as they mourn his death after a year has passed, and his mother, Queen Ramonda, has taken over the nation of Wakanda and is trying to keep all the vibranium stuff and trying to protect their nation from outside forces from using vibranium for weapons of mass destruction. And as a new mysterious nation who also has access to vibranium, they must band together to stop this new nation's ruler, Namor, played by Tanicha Huerta, from causing utter destruction of the world because he feels like his nation needs to be protected. Obviously, I like the first Black Panther movie. I think it has problems with the action and the effects, but the story, character writing, and all of that, I find rather entertaining. This one is still pretty good. I will say, one major problem I have with this film is the length. It's 2 hours and 41 minutes, and you don't feel it all the time, but especially with some characters, some characters in this who are kind of put in there because they were in the last one, and then a new character who you think is going to be the main focus, but then really isn't. And it's like, I feel like you could have edited those out and the movie would still work a lot better, because I don't know why they have them in here, maybe just to get the plot moving, but I don't know. But I do like that, obviously, Chadwick Boseman tragically passed away, and Ryan Coogler went full guts and killed him off in the universe instead of doing a Fast and Furious thing. And I like how they use that as the driving force for the plot. Letitia Wright is really good as Shuri in this, and especially the impact of T'Challa's death really is still affecting her. Same thing with her mother, Angela Bassett, Ramonda or whatever. She also is very good in this, and you do also get his love interest from the last movie later on, played by Lupita Nyong'o, and she's still very good in this. And I like that it's definitely worked into the plot where, you know, obviously the nation is still struggling without their protector, and, you know, they lost that heartbeat herb that gave them the powers to defend themselves as Black Panther. And I really like that they do explore what happens with that and use that to its fullest effect. And I really like how it brings up Shuri's character, because she tried to save him, but she couldn't, and she wasn't even there for his death. And I really like that. I was really liking the direction that took. Obviously, this movie had to change some of the ground making that the first Black Panther set up, especially with the decisions that they made in that film. And in this, it's earned. Even though it kind of feels like a cheat in some moments, I'm like, you know what, that makes sense how they write it in. They write it in cleverly, and I do really enjoy that aspect of this. And all the acting is top-notch, and especially the villain, Namor, played by Tino Huerta. He has also a very good backstory, because his people, I think, are like Hispanic or Aztecian relatives or natives to that kind of area, and there was another thing of vibranium there, and to save his people from the plagues that were brought on them, they took this herb that they found in vibranium-rich soil, which affected his people to where they could breathe underwater, and they created a new nation under there, which is very creative, because obviously you could have just repeated the whole vibranium aspect of Wakanda being super futuristic, but I like how it's a lot more of it's vibranium, but it's a lot less high tech. It's more of like a more primitive version of vibranium, kind of like what the Umbaku's tribe was kind of like, and I liked that aspect of it's an entirely different new nation following a new heritage, almost of like Hispanic people having problems with the conquistadors and stuff like that, or South American people having problem with the conquistadors and stuff like that. And I really do like that direction. That the villain's motivation is that he lives longer than other people, and he was born of his mother, but due to the vibranium herb messing with his mother during pregnancy, he lived a lot longer than she did and watched her pass. And he put her body back on land, and then he saw his people of his relatives being enslaved, and he just got more vengeful of it. And then modern day now, people have found vibranium near his kingdom, and he doesn't want his kingdom discovered. He doesn't want his people to be punished and stuff like that. He thinks that he should take out the rest of the world before the world comes and attacks them. And I really like that motivation, and the acting from him is very good also. I really do like the slow burn aesthetic of diving more into these characters. It's very well done, especially because Shuri hasn't properly disposed of her grief of her brother's past, and she's like being vengeful and hatred, especially what Namor does in the later in the movie to Wakanda, and she wants to take vengeance, but she doesn't. And especially because there's a very similar scene to this in the first one when he's in the ancestral plane and she is in there, and I like how they I would have maybe preferred seeing Chadwick Boseman maybe CGI'd, but I like how they didn't do that also. They put a different character in there, and it does go into the theme that this movie is exploring, and I really do like that. And I also think that the action is better than the first one. The action is definitely a lot better choreographed in cinematography. The effects for the MCU recently have not been the best, but this one has some pretty good ones. I really like the creative underwater city design, even though it kind of reminded me of the new Avatar trailer, because that's Way of the Water and stuff like that. But I will say, I really do like what they do with this film with the situation that they were put in. Obviously, you know that they're going to have to cheat some things, and I don't blame them for that. And especially because you have such a talented writer and director of Ryan Coogler, he really did make it work a lot better. And I will say the action in this is a lot better. There's not as much. And as I said, there are problems that I have with the film because with earlier on, they're motivated to go do a certain thing, to go get this certain character, Dominique Thorne's character of Ironheart, which I'm guessing is a character from the comics. I don't fucking know. But she really doesn't do that much. You think that she's going to be the main source of the conflict. I will say the main source of the conflict is interesting when we get to it. I like that part. But the fact that they had to set it up with this character who really doesn't show up all that often and kind of is like people are risking their lives for her when I really don't get the point. Like, the actress is fine, and I think the writing for the character is alright, but I feel like I would have preferred them maybe finding another way or at least utilizing that character more than they did. I do feel like that aspect of the film is kind of wishy-washy on whether it's trying to say what it's trying to say with that. And then you have Martin Freeman in this as the Agent Ross. And I feel like, yeah, you could have also just not added him in here because you kind of get from the sense already Wakanda's feeling to other nations. And I like that you kind of get it from an outward X point from, them trying to figure out what's going on with Wakanda and wanting vibranium, especially from the Americans' point of view. But I really would have enjoyed if they went a different direction with that. I don't know. I feel like his scenes could have been cut down. As I said, the pacing I don't think is as good because I said they didn't do anything really with the characters that they set up, like with Martin Freeman's character and Dominique Thorne's character. They really don't amount to all that much in this except for plot point driving purposes, and I feel like, I don't know, I didn't feel like it was necessarily the best direction that they could have done for it. I feel like they could have done something more clever. But overall, I say that this is probably one of the better MCU Phase 4 properties. Obviously, I have not seen all the TV shows. I don't have the fucking time to watch all those. But yeah, I will say I really do enjoy this direction. It's on par with the first Black Panther movie. It has yet again a good villain who's not really a villain. He kind of comes into fruition at the end and kind of stalemates with Shuri, and I like that aspect. Is that you just don't have a bloodthirsty character, just like Killmonger was. But I will say his acting is good. Ticho no Huerta, I still don't know how to pronounce his name, but I feel like his acting is good. But he does have some weird moments here and there. But for the most part, I feel like it's mostly handled well. As I said, the acting in this is top notch. I like how they really explore and utilize the death of one of the main states of the Black Panther franchise, and they do work it in and set it up for the future and really do utilize it as a story beat as best as they could. Obviously, I said that some characters in this, like Dominique Thorne's character and Martin Freeman's character, I feel like could be edited out, and you would have a lot more of a smooth narrative if you maybe set up a different thing to motivate the villain to do something. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of the way they do it, but as I said, I feel like the action is a lot better in this. The cinematography is still very well done, very creative, and yeah, I definitely recommend this one. It's one of the better MCU properties. If you like the first Black Panther, you'll probably like this one as well. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe down below. Leave your thoughts on the review. I always like to see those. If you have any other movies you want me to review, leave those in the comments section as well. And share and favorite the channel. I always like to see the growth of the channel, and I will see you all next time with Wakanda Forever. No, I don't fucking know what I'm reviewing next.